Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Channel is Alex Kumbi, and I'm Alex Kumbi. Today, guys, we're going to do something a little different, guys. We are going to take a break away from our normal anime reactions. We normally do just full-on episode reactions, but today I wanted to do something a little different because obviously Solo Leveling ended on Saturday, so I'm done with Solo Leveling as of right now, which opens up another spot where I'm wanting to do another anime or add an extra episode of Bleach like I was doing before. But currently right now the schedule is every Tuesday, Thursdays My Hero Academia, and Fridays is Bleach. So until I decide or we figure out the next anime that we are going to do reactions to on the channel, I was going to try to start doing a little bit more videos like this in the meantime. And today we're going to do top 10 solo leveling fights. So this is all presented by Mojo as well. So shout out to Mojo and thank you for the video. But that's what I figured we would do today. We do a reaction to that and kind of talk about it and discuss, whether we would rank it the same way that Mojo did or how we viewed on these fights and whatnot. And kind of go from there. So if you guys haven't already, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join us here, guys, and help us push over 100 subs. It would mean the world to me if you joined us. And like I said, comment down below if you have any suggestions on the next anime that we should start. I'm all ears and would love to see what everybody says. Kind of some options that I'm thinking about right now is, again, obviously Bleach. We're adding one more episode a week to Bleach. Or I'm also thinking about Fire Force because I know that season 3 is coming out. I believe actually it might be coming out tomorrow if I remember right. It's either tomorrow or, yeah, I think it comes out on the 4th. So thinking about doing Fire Force because I have seen season 1 and I've seen some of season 2, but I have not finished it yet. So, we could finish season 2 on here and watch the new season 3 on here. That was an idea that I had. Or we can start a new anime entirely. I have yet to see Kaiju number 8, so I thought about Kaiju number 8 possibly being an option. But you guys let me know down below what your guys' thoughts are. I've also been really, really interested in starting like Vinland Saga. So, again, give me some ideas or some options of things that you guys think I should try. So, but anyways, we're going to get past all that, guys. If you'd like to join us down there in Patreon, the link is down in the description below. Over on Patreon, guys, we've got all of these videos that are unedited. You can watch all the full episodes with us, no cuts, nothing like that, and it is 100% free right now. So you can join us over there, or you can support in other ways through Patreon. But we'd love to have you join us there. And if you're already with us on Patreon, man, big shout out to you. I appreciate the hell out of you. Love y'all, man. It means the world to me. But with all that being said, guys, intro has been long enough. Let's get into this. This is the top 10 solo leveling fights. Let's check it out.
Number 10, Hunters Guild Strike Team B and Jinnu versus High Orcs. Most fight scenes in solo leveling showcase Jinnu alone, but this rare exception features a squad of A and B rank hunters encountering a group of High Orcs. The group's various fighting styles make for a nice change of pace from Jinnu's, and they all work together well. Unfortunately, they're overmatched.
So I'd say, okay, for me, at least, I feel like this one, I don't know if I'd put this in my top 10. I don't know what the rest of their top 10 list looks like. So I don't want to jump the gun and be like, I don't know right off the bat. But like, hearing what they said, I mean, I can somewhat agree. Like, I do like the squad captain of this team. I like the squad itself. It was a very, very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Unselfish squad. They all were there for each other, and there was not one person like how in season 1 you had that entire squad of E ranks and B, or what is it, the C or the D rank and E ranks or something that Jinnu was originally with, where they were all they were all thinking about themselves. And not that that's a negative thing because they were trying to make money for their families, but it's like this squad specifically was definitely a team. Like, you could tell that they all were in it together. And so I did love the squad itself. I really liked the captain of the squad. He was a true leader and everything like that. So I really appreciated him and whatnot. And I do like that they said it was a bit of a change of pace, even though Jinwoo still had to jump in and save them all, which is what he's doing right here in this next clip. But I don't know. This for me would be like an honorable mention. But let's see the rest of the list before we jump the gun on that.
Thankfully, Jinnu is acting as the party's porter and uses stealth to weaken many of their enemies, with most of the group being none the wiser. It's arguably one of the better fight scenes involving hunters besides
really cool to
Jinnu, even if he does give them an assist.
People fighting in different
Besides, he gets to look cool while making them look cool. Everybody wins!
Yeah, definitely like him.
Number 9, Jinnu vs. Cerberus. Beware of
I can
dog.
definitely agree with this one. This one definitely has to be a top 10.
When he decides to attempt.
This one should be top 10 for sure, because I think, if I remember right, it was either this one or the Igris fight were probably the last fight that we saw Jinwoo really, really struggle. And I believe in this one, he almost died, right? Because he had to take like a healing potion or something, and that's why he didn't die. But this was one of the like last times that we really, really saw that struggle. And some people really love that. Like I've seen mixed thoughts on this. Like people are like, oh man, it's just sometimes it sucks because you want to see Jinwoo struggle a little more. Like you want the main character to have like a little bit more of a struggle in these fights to make it seem closer, where in season 2 there wasn't a ton of that. Like he pretty much just dominated everybody that he fought. Other than Baran was probably the closest matchup for him. Even Baru was a good fight, but I don't think Baru pushed him to that limit where Baran did. But that's probably the only fight in season 2 that I would say honestly reached that point. So this I can definitely agree with being in the top 10 for that specific reason.
The demon's castle immediately after getting the key. The entrance is guarded by the massive three-headed hound, Hell's gatekeeper, Cerberus. Despite his title giving him an advantage against beast-type monsters and his use of many skills and debuffs, Cerberus tears through him like a chunk of meat, even ripping off one of his arms.
I remember that, yeah.
Jinwoo's use of healing potions and new debuff only barely gives him strength to resist. His desperate attacks against the creature while caught in its jaws let him kill it by the skin of his teeth. Still, winning against a boss while underleveled is a special kind of satisfying, as any gamer will tell you.
Facts.
Number 8. Jinwoo vs. Blue Venom Fang Casca. I
do agree with this one too. Definitely has to be a top 10 fight, because number 1, this is I think the first fight that we actually see him with the system fighting, like fighting a boss. So I definitely love this one being in here for sure. And I believe this is where he gets his blade, right? He gets like that blade that he uses where he can, like, whenever it cuts something like that, it causes like, was it poison or venom or something like that stuns them so they can't move. So I definitely agree that this one has to be in your top 10.
Never forget your first boss monster. At the bottom of the instance dungeon, Jinwoo is immediately attacked by the Blue Venom Fang Casca. The huge Azure Serpent shatters his sword in one attack and doesn't let up. The flooded subway environment gives the battle a unique feel and provides some surprising obstacles for Jinwoo. The still green E-rank ultimately abandons his weapon and uses brute force to choke Casca into submission.
Because he put all of his points into strength.
It's a big step up for Jinwoo, and the voice actor brought so much intensity to the scene that he reportedly coughed up blood. Talk about hardcore.
Yeah, that's the blade he got out of this.
Number 7, Jinwoo versus the Lizards.
Oh, bro.
What happens in a dungeon stays in a dungeon.
For me personally, dude, this has to be higher on the list. For me personally, mainly because it's at least top 5 for me. And again, because I think that this was one of those ones that just really pushed solo leveling to the next level, in my opinion. Because this was such a pivotal moment for solo leveling. Like, solo leveling was already hype. Yes, solo leveling was already like building up that momentum and that hypeness that it has now. But I feel like this was one of those ones that really just kind of gave it that extra edge, because this set the tone for what solo leveling was. Because this moment, like how cold it was, and the fact that you see Jinwoo doing this and he just slaughters these guys like this. And then the Dark Aria song that just became a pivotal statement of what solo leveling is. Like, that song, you can't think about solo leveling and not think about Dark Aria. The second you hear that song, solo leveling comes to your mind. And this set that tone for that, for me at least. This was one of the best moments of season 1, in my opinion, which is why I would have to put it higher.
That's the philosophy held by Wang Dongseok and his cronies, who decide to kill Jinwoo and his new friend Jinho for their own gain. However, their assumption that Jinwoo is the weaker of the duo proves terrifyingly inaccurate. After casually slicing a guy's neck, he proceeds to easily cut down 4 more in rapid succession. Dongseok tries both bribes and attacking back, but his strength is easily overcome too. Calling this a fight is a bit generous. It's basically a slaughter.
But I've got bad news for you. I've been leveling up this whole time. Dark Arya, baby, come on.
Even so, it's a crucial and haunting step on Jinu's journey, as it marks his first time killing another person. The soundtrack and aura are worth it though.
Done.
Number 6. Jinu vs Taeshik. With his friends' lives under threat, Jinu steps in to save them from Kang Taeshik, a murderous B-rank assassin type.
I actually low-key kind of forgot about this fight. I actually did forget that this fight actually happened. So I don't know if I could put it in top 10. If I don't even remember about it. From what I do remember, I feel like it was an okay fight, but man, I don't know. I think this would be this. I don't know if I'd put this in top 10. I don't know. Let's look at the rest of the list. But I low-key kind of forgot about this fight. I don't know if anybody else remembered this fight, but this wasn't like a memorable fight. For me, it was never an upper echelon fight or a top 10 fight in solo leveling so far. But that's just my opinion, especially at number 6. That's crazy.
The two of them are evenly matched when it comes to speed, exchanging a rapid flurry of blows. Although Jinu increases his speed and inflicts a minor wound on Taeshik, the killer hunter can turn invisible.
Oh, you know what? I forgot all about that. Now I'm starting to remember certain things as I'm watching this. Now I remember this fight specifically because of once this fight happened, it had a lot of social media, like a lot of hype on social media because of he does that like that little, you know, hopping back and forth right before a fight type of a thing, because that was an homage to Goku, because that was a Goku thing. So I do remember this fight. Because of that homage, maybe I could put it in honorable mentions, or maybe number 10 for me.
Jinu is injured too, but manages to use his healing skill to recover. Another use of a skill terrifies Taeshik briefly, giving Jinu a chance to deliver a fatal strike. Taeshik's similarities to Jinu don't stop with their builds. He also acts as a dark mirror for what Jinu could become if he starts to enjoy killing too much. Number 5. Jinu vs Baka. The leader of the Ice Elves and boss of the Red Gate proves quite strong. Even stronger than Jinu.
This one for sure, dude. This set the tone for what Season 2 was about to become, bro. This was an absolute banger of a fight. To start this off in Episode 2 of Season 2, absolutely fire, bro. Like, this really was like a tone setter for the entire season. So it being at number 5, I can 100% agree with. I love this.
Thankfully, Jinu's shadow soldiers and some clever tactics help him bridge the gap in this fight.
Then he gains iron in this same fight too. Love it.
From dismissing and then recalling his weapons, to creating a shadow soldier out of a murderous hunter mid-battle, Jinu pulls off some impressive moves here. Baka holds up surprisingly well against an onslaught of Jinu, Icarus, and the newly created Iron. However, the proud Ice Elf is no match for Jinu's incredible strategies. Just like its conclusion, this fight is absolutely smashing.
Smashing, literally.
Number 4, Jinu versus the Demon Monarch Baron. Demon Kings may be a common fixture in—
number 4? I don't know, bro. I gotta think about this. I'm trying to think about. I don't know, man. Number 4, is that too low for this fight? I don't know. I think that most people are going to say Baru versus Jinu is number 1. I can agree with that. I can understand that being number 1. I can agree with that, but I'm trying to think about what this might be my number 2, to be honest. I feel like number 4 might be too low. Maybe I'm forgetting some fights. Let me see the rest of the list, but I don't know. I feel like this might just be a little too low. Maybe number 3. I don't know.
In anime, but there's nothing ordinary about this fight.
And you know what? Can I just say this too? There was a lot of flack on this about how, the animation was great. Yeah, but there was too much like fast motion, so you couldn't see what was going on. And like, that's just a cop out for animation to like, man, I don't give a shit, bro. Like, come on, bro. This fight was absolutely fire. And the animation, yeah, it had certain moments where you were like, well, what's going on? I can't figure it out. Like, but also it's like, okay, there was some of that too when you had the fight with Baru. There's some of that in Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. Like, you go watch those fights, there's a ton of that. But dude, I personally like that kind of stuff. I love when the animation is like so intense like that. And you know what? The rain in this, that rain animation added to this, leveled that up and almost made me forget about all those like moments where the animation was not 100% there.
Jinu's first challenge in facing Baran is bringing the demonic ruler down to earth. But even once he cuts down the demon's mount, Baran proves a formidable foe. His lightning attacks are extremely powerful, and his speed proves a match for Jinu's as well. The furious pace of the fight, the rain-swept atmosphere, and great personal stakes for Jinu help make this a spectacular battle. Jinu's final uppercut leaves Baran a bit thunderstruck, and we feel much the same about this amazing clash.
Oh, this moment too is so badass. The frame and the punch like that.
Jinu versus Igris the Blood Red. At the end of the Job Change Quest dungeon he's entered.
Okay. Would we put this fight above the fight with Baran? Oh man, I don't know. That's such a tough one. Maybe I have recency bias. Maybe my recency bias is wanting me to put the Baran fight above this one. That I feel like I don't know, the meaning behind both of them were both there. He got the elixir of life for his mom, which allowed him to bring his mom back. The meaning behind that with that fight with Baran was so important. But then Igris was the first shadow where he became the Shadow Monarch. Like that's intense to what he leads to. So I feel like the meaning behind the both of them are both like neck and neck. I don't know. I guess you could be interchangeable. These two could be interchangeable, I guess.
Jinu finds a red knight guarding an empty throne, Igris the Blood Red. The intimidating warrior proves overwhelmingly stronger than our player, destroying pillars with a swing of his sword and knocking Jinu around like a ragdoll for most of the fight. The crisp choreography and excellent camera work lend their confrontation an incredible speed and intensity. Jinu may look beaten initially, but some lucky hits on Igris and his indomitable willpower help him prevail. While other fights may go bigger, this one is an all thrills, no frills duel, and easily the best in Season 1.
Very, very comparable to the fight with Baran.
Number 2, Jinu versus Kargalgan. Fighting.
Oh, dude, I forgot about this fight. Like, I didn't forget about it, but I did. Damn. This one was such a good one, too, because that's how cold Jinu was in this one. Like, this was like Aura personified this fight, but I don't know. Okay. Let's assume number 1 ends up being Baru versus Jinu. Agree with that 100%, right? Can agree with that. I don't know. Let me watch this. Let me think on this about how I would rank.
Being a mage can be tough when you specialize in close combat, but Jinu isn't like most fighters. While the High Orc Shaman manages to keep Jinu at bay initially, his Shadow Mages break down his defenses. Speaking of Shadow Soldiers, all of Jinu's named forces get chances to shine here, especially Igris. Kargalgan's decision to use magic to become giants proves unwise. You know the saying about the bigger they are, right?
The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Or that
this
too.
fight
Easier
is
the target
beautiful pandemonium from start to finish, with Kargalgan's increased size adding some great verticality and featuring many little touches to the outstanding animation sprinkled throughout. We'd struggle to find a fault in this fight, even going over it with a fine-tooth comb. Or should that be a fine tusk?
Fine tusk. Ah! I see what you did there, Mojo. Alright, alright.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our
guys,
latest videos.
Button, man. They
you
do
have
some
the
awesome
option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Jinwoo vs Ant King. The Ant King has been wrecking the S-rank hunters, leaving everyone in despair. But then, Jinwoo...
Again, I agree with this 100%. Good with this being number 1. Top tier animation. Absolute banger of a fight. I even said it when I did the reaction to it, that I was like, man, we haven't seen a fight of this caliber with the animation as insane as it was. The hype behind it all since, I mean, it's been at least a year. And if we're talking about just moments in anime, it goes all the way back to last year with Muzan in the finale of Demon Slayer was probably the last hype moment that was similar to this. But the last fight, I mean, we're talking like maybe this thing goes all the way back to JJK season 2 where we had Maharaga versus Sukuna. Like that was the last time we had a fight that was on par with this on this, you know, as far as like just straight up fighting goes.
Arrives. The ensuing fight is nearly 10 minutes of absolute cinema. The animation is stellar throughout and perfectly captures the speed and awesome power of both combatants as they slug it out, speed around the battlefield, and fly up and down from its heights. The anime even adds details that improve the action, like the Ant King using the powers of the hunters he's eaten. Jinwoo's strength essentially gives his insectoid foe an existential crisis. Likewise, we can hardly believe how breathtaking their battle is. Solo leveling fights always bring the hype, but this one truly arises to the occasion.
Facts.
Is there a solo leveling fight we forgot? Hit us with your favorites in those comments below.
This one was actually absolute fire. So, okay, let me kind of run through real fast on where I would kind of rank some of this stuff and my thoughts on it. So I agree with the Baru being number 1, 100% that. Number 1 right there. I would go number 2 for me would probably be Jinwoo versus Igris, just because of, I think that really, him becoming the Shadow Monarch and getting Igris as his first Shadow and like all the stuff that went behind that, I think just really set that up. And I loved the fight and the animation. It's kind of like what he said. Like, I like that there was no BS. It was like straight fight, straight action the entire time. So that for me would honestly be number 2. Number 3 would be Baran fight. I think Baran versus Jinwoo would be number 3. You could go 2-3 between that and Igris. Like those are interchangeable for me. So number 4 for me would probably be the Calgardigan fight because of, yes, that was aura personified. Absolute beautifully mastered. Like peak on peak. Absolutely fucking love that. Number 5 for me would probably have to be, from season 1, episode 6, man, where he, you know, Dark Arya song, he goes and he slaughters all these guys. Like that was just such a cold moment for me. And that was honestly the episode that just truly grasped me entirely onto solo leveling. I already loved solo leveling from the start, but that was the episode that I was truly like, this is something different. This anime is going to be on another level. Like I can tell for sure. Number 6 for me would have to be this moment that you're looking at on the screen right now. Like seeing Baru go in here to the Dark Arya song and do what Jinwoo did, where they kind of did that comparison to kind of hype up that fight. I thought it was beautifully done. Him going and slaughtering all these S ranks like they're absolutely nothing was cold. And the fact that they did it to the Dark Arya song was honestly just so ruthless to us as the viewers, man. And I loved that. I absolutely freaking loved that. So I would put that one at number 6 for sure. So I don't even know what else we have left. 7, I probably would also go with, I like the Jinwoo versus Cerberus. I think that would probably be my number 7. Number 8, I do like the Jinwoo versus the Snake. That's probably a good number 8 for me. I'm trying to think about what else do we have left. I don't know what I would put at number 9 and 10. Maybe number 9. Let's see. I'm trying to look back here. Jinwoo versus the Lizards. I guess maybe number 9, I would probably go with, I I do maybe I do like the Jinwoo and the high orcs with that team. That is actually a pretty good fight. So I would go number 9 with that. Number 10, I guess I would probably end up going with Jinwoo versus that purple haired guy. I can't remember what his name is, but that one was a decent fight, and I honestly forgot about it. And then the homage to Goku, I love that. So that's how I would rank it personally. Let me know what your guys' ranking are down below. Let me know if you think do you like my list better than Mojo's, or do you like Mojo's better than mine? Let me know why. Let me know what your list is, and so on. But with all that being said, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next episode, man. Deuces.